With the Pittsburgh Steelers looking to build up the trenches, could O'Cyrus Torrence, guard from Florida, be a good bet to replace Kevin Dotson? Hello, Steeler Nation, and welcome to the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate with me, your host, Owen David, speaking to you here from the other side of the pond. Yes, in the UK. Welcome again back to the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. Remember to hit that sub, ring that notification bell, guys, so you don't miss out on any of the news through this 2023 offseason. Obviously, Super Bowl coming up this Sunday, and the Philadelphia Eagles take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs obviously have Juju Smith-Schuster, former Pittsburgh Steeler, but we are focusing solely on the Pittsburgh Steelers 2023 offseason as they look to build a franchise capable of competing for that 7th Lombardi trophy in the 2023 NFL season. Now, from all the indications coming out of the Pittsburgh Steelers and what we've seen so far this offseason from the Senior Bowl, where the Steelers' top brass, including Mike Tomlin, Omar Khan, Brian Flores, Terrell Austin, all were present, it seems very much the Steelers are focused on building up the trenches and building those trenches to be strong. And to be following a little bit, I think the example given by the Philadelphia Eagles this year, the Eagles going into the Super Bowl have by far the best offensive line and a defensive line in football, which has certainly contributed to them being exceptionally successful this year. And maybe the Steelers are looking at parroting that, doing something very similar. And the Steelers obviously have been looking at offensive linemen. Now, I think the common consent coming out of Pittsburgh is that the left side of the line still needs some addressing. Whilst they are very happy, I think, with Chooks at right tackle, James Daniels at right guard, and Mason Cole at center, there is, I think, a movement within the franchise to possibly either replace in the short term or even the long term Kevin Dotson and even Dan Moore. Now, Kevin Dotson, I think, is probably the candidate that is more likely, if any, to get someone who drafted to come in behind him and either take over from day one or take over from him as the season progresses. Now, one of the most talented guards in this draft class and the guy who's ranked number one of the actual draft coming out of college this year is a guy from the Florida Gators. He is obviously played SEC football, which means he is obviously going to have played at the highest level. This guy is called O'Cyrus Torrence. He's 23 years old. He is 6'5". He weighs 347 pounds. He's played for Louisiana. He's played for Florida. He's played in a number of bowl games. He is a very talented prospect. He is an All-American coming out of college. He is a first-team All-SEC coming out of college in 2022. He is also an All-Team Sun Belt from 2021. He is he is someone who's very highly rated. And like I said, if he is graded very highly in the SEC, he is obviously a very talented prospect. Well, what do we know about this young man, O'Cyrus Torrence? Now, O'Cyrus Torrence is someone the Steelers have reportedly taken an interest in at the Senior Bowl, and Tomlin has spent some time with him. Tomlin has spoken with him, as has Omar Khan and Andy Vidal as well, apparently by all accounts. Well, if we look at Torrence and his record, Torrence is going to be drafted this year. He ran even to 5'4", 40, which obviously is not overly important for a guard. He's ranked 10th overall. He's ranked number 2 in his position on the offensive line. Obviously, that's in cuts, but when you put tackles and guards together, he's 6'5", 337 pounds. Slightly difference there. He has 11 and a quarter inch hands, and we know hand size is really important. Arms are 33 and 7/8 inch, span of 84 inches. He's 23 years old. He was born on the 20th of January, so he will be 23 years old going into this season. His overall rating is 90 out of 100. As you can see there, percentile calculated on how any given stat would rank at the NFL Combine, historically in the player's position group. Pass blocking, 90%, run blocking, 100%. He is a very talented run blocker, something I think will really attract the Pittsburgh Steelers, given the fact that, they really do want this offense to run the ball and ground and pound. And obviously are placing a lot of faith in Najee Harris and Jalen Warren going forward, as we saw in the second half of the season. And someone like O'Cyrus Torrence, who brings that fantastic run blocking, could be someone that they are genuinely interested in. His draft protection is at the moment to go in the top 10, but I have seen him drafted outside that in a number of projections. So O'Cyrus Torrence could be someone the Steelers could well be interested in. He's played 48 college games and had 3,065 college snaps. Well, what do we know about O'Cyrus Torrence as a player? What do we know about him in terms of his strengths and his qualities? Well, O'Cyrus Torrence he's a huge guard. He is a big guy, 6'5". He's well proportioned, though, well balanced and super strong. He is the only 4-year starter we have, the only 4-year starter who ever scouted has never surrendered a single sack during his career. I mean, take that into account. Over 3,000 snaps and has never surrendered a sack. He dominates in the run game. We've seen him ragdoll defenders multiple times. He has crazy raw power. He's a mauler and has power reminiscent of Larry Allen, former Cowboy and 49er. He has strong hands and is able to consistently under the pads of rushers and shepherd them aside in pass protection. Surprising lateral quickness given his immense size. He's extremely light on his feet for someone of his size as well. Natural knee bender who plays with great balance and leverage. His hand placement is absolutely excellent. Torrence shows a good understanding of angles when climbing upfield as well. He's confident in his abilities. He could have stayed in Louisiana, but apparently wanted to test his levels at a higher level. That's why he chose to go to Florida to play in the SEC. He sells trap and block, can turn to seal, fluid getting to and adjusting to the second level. As a run blocker, he is the best run blocker in this class. He is a good teammate, works well with others, and is very good at coordinating. So he is someone who I think the Steelers could be very much interested in and could well help to build those trenches and build the line. I think there is a real common consensus amongst the beat reporters, the insiders, and it's seemingly coming out of the organization as well that is going to be the focus of this draft, a building of the trenches. You know, the hiring, I think, of Andy Vidal, who was very much part of the building of the current current Philadelphia Eagles roster and was very much the man who is accredited with building their defensive and offensive lines, really drops a huge hint that that's what the Steelers are intending to do in this draft. So could O'Cyrus Torrence be another good candidate? Well, guys, only time will tell, I guess, but have a look, check him out and tell me what you think in the comments below. O'Cyrus Torrence, a good Steeler? Well, guys, let's finish it off as we always do with, here we go, Steelers. Come on.